a lot of them, they look at a celebrity and they would want it that the same style. Like, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
We're not magicians, you know.
Hello everyone, my name is Kashi and welcome to Kwentuhang podcast. Now, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you might notice something a little bit different for today's episode and I guess for the rest of the episode. This is not my usual couch and not the usual curtain. It looks a little bit different and my hair looks a little bit different, and that's because our special guest for today is my hairstylist who's doing this. She did this. Please welcome Lexxy.
Hi, mabuhay. How are you, Kashi?
Good. I am very happy. I can't stop smiling because of my hair.
Welcome to GGSS Club.
Yes, and I always tell my guests thank you for traveling all the way here, but today's different. Thank you for welcoming us to your
Welcome
wonderful.
to our lovely home.
Yes, this is very nice. Jerome has suggested making you as a regular guest, just because this space is amazing, and I reckon we can have amazing conversations all the time. Yeah. So
You're more than welcome.
yeah, we should. I mean, as long as you're happy to travel all the way here, Jerome.
It's not that far.
Yeah.
All right. So this is actually our first time meeting each other. We've chatted a little bit on Instagram. But in reality, I don't know much about you. So I do have a lot of questions. But I guess first of all, how did you get started with doing hairstyling and stuff?
Hey, I hated my hair when I was young because I have brown skin and then I have curly hair, and then I always get teased, like Ita or Kirara. And then when back in high school, when we moved to Australia, I instead of studying geography, I got like hairdressing books inside the geography book, and then I started learning how to do hair through the books. There was rarely internet back then, and then I did it on myself, and I would go to school, and I started feeling like that belonging feeling, and people started complimenting how I look, and then it started from there, and it evolved into like them wanting me to do their hair, and then people suggesting that you should be a hairdresser, and after VCE, I said I want to be a hairdresser, and it was a struggle, but I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I feel like hairdressing, hairstyling is something that, I mean, a lot of Filipinos does it in the Philippines. There's a lot of hair dresses in the Philippines, but it still doesn't. It's still like not the most common kind of Filipino jobs.
Yeah.
Like unlike nursing, is it like, I guess, how did your family reacted to
It was difficult because my father's side are all like in the medical field.
Oh, wow.
And and since I was 3, they will always like, what do you want to do? And, it's a common question.
Yeah.
Anong gusto mo paglaki mo?
Yeah.
And then I'd always go, I want to be a doctor. But in my own world, like, I don't know, I'm a kid with my own world, and I remember seeing Vogue magazine, and Sophia Loren was there with this gorgeous hair, or the celebrities in the Philippines, and I would always like really in awe, and I would steal my sister's Barbie doll, and I would lock myself and do their Barbie's hair and pretend they're my clients.
Yeah.
And back in high school, that's when people sort of, I think the universe will sort of guide you to where you need to be. They will always tell you, if you listen, that where you're good at, And I think I told them, I said I don't want to finish my high school, but Filipino, my dad would always say, if you start something, you have to finish it. So I finished my VCE 12, and then I was really decided that I want to be a hairdresser, and I did, and then everyone's like, "Oh, why are you gonna be a hairdresser? You're in Australia already.
Yeah.
Why don't you go to uni or anything like that?"
Yeah.
But I came across this video on YouTube, because we're doing career. Because in Australia we have the careers teachers.
Mm-hmm.
No, something that it should be adapted in Philippines.
Yeah.
So we discuss what are my possibilities. So
Mm.
I knew in my heart that I was a creative. I love music. I love arts. I love films. And when I told them, it was they were a bit 50-50, but I knew that that's what's gonna make me happy. If I wanted to find a job, I wanted to do something that I love to do, so I don't get bored, and also I don't mind doing like, you know, I've been doing it for 13 years now. I feel like I'm just playing with Barbie dolls. So, and also it's empowering women and helping them love themselves as it helped me, because it really helped me transform myself, my mindset, my aesthetic, and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important to do something that you actually enjoy.
Yes.
Although, well, unfortunately, not everyone has the luxury to do what
Yeah.
you love, but it is very important that once you find that thing that you love, to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because I describe it like, for myself, it keeps my soul alive.
Yes.
You know, it
Yeah.
makes me happy, and I don't care how hard it is sometimes or how challenging it is. You just keep doing it because it makes you happy.
Yeah. And everyone's saying like, oh, because you have talent. I said it's not about talent. Before it was a talent, I was interested. And that interest was strong enough for me to sort of learn it. I mean, I thought it was glamorous, but it wasn't glamorous at all.
Yeah.
We walk into the salon and with like fresh with makeup, and then after the end of the day, you wouldn't even look at us like once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the same goes for, I'm just imagining, for like, say, models, like when they do makeup and stuff, because like, say, you see the glamorous side
Yeah.
as an audience, right? But when you think of the behind the scenes,
It's a lot of work. Like, people will go, "Oh, why are you charging that much? It's only like applying this and that.
Yeah.
I can do that." Like, of course, everyone can cut hair, everyone can put color, but not everyone has the color theory, also the customer service, and the patience
yeah.
to do it for so many years. Yeah, there's a lot of technical things that goes with it, especially with cutting, and also knowing an individual's look, sort of applying the technical side and also the creative side of it. It's a very well-rounded career. And well, it's a career in Australia, but in Philippines, it's not, because there's not a lot of regulations, and also they are paid less. So hopefully one day it will change. Maybe I have to go back to Philippines to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it needs to be evolved in the Philippines. But I think it's starting now. So yeah, that's good.
What do you think are the differences?
In Australia, there's always a strict, rules, law as well. There are regulations when it comes to colors and products. Certain
Okay.
chemicals are not allowed in Australia, and in the Philippines, it's not. It's not. What you call that? Monitored. So anyone can just do hair, and they have a great experience. There are a lot of great creatives in the Philippines, but to ask them to produce something again and again and again, I highly doubt it, because they don't have the technical skills. Not all of them, but some of them, like in the streets.
Yeah, the palenque
But
ones.
yes, on the street corner.
Yeah.
The parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to like high end ones, they have the skills and the products, because you have to understand that hairdressing involves a lot of chemicals. So you have to be in the right hands, especially now people are more aware of cancer and all of those diseases, and also putting chemicals into your scalp, it goes into your body.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful of what we put into our body. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess for me as a customer, it makes me feel better when I know that the person doing this to my hair actually knows
Yeah.
what they're doing, because it's kind of scary once they put those chemicals in, and then if you see the outcome and you don't like it, what are you gonna do? Cut
That's
your
right.
hair?
That's right.
Like,
Like initially, it was more of the style, but as it, as we progressed, it evolved into more of um, balance, sustainability and also health. So, which is beautiful. I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me, like, cause I come from the old school, and then meet the modern, what do you call it, millennial or Gen Z
yeah.
um, season or era.
Season.
Era. It's an era. It's hard. But I embraced it. Initially, I was like, oh my god, all this drama, all this ang arte.
Yeah.
And then my sister is also a hairdresser, and she's a lot younger than me. She's about your age. She's 27, and she's the one who's schooling me. Oh, don't use that one. They're bad company. Or don't use that product because they're not. They're using labor like and all that crap, and yeah, you have to be now. It's a scene to be not aware when it comes to sustainability and also health wise. So I always tell my clientele health is my priority. Second, style.
Yep.
So also tying in, the natural hair into the modern, because in the Philippines it's a lot like it's almost like they're removing your identity. Like everyone's wearing this straight hair.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to change into the mindsets of my Filipino clientele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I told you before, like my first kind of chemically related kind of process that I've done in my hair is what they call the rebond,
Rebond, yeah.
which is it makes your hair very straight,
Yeah.
because in the Philippines, if your hair is straight, you're beautiful, you have a very nice hair.
Yeah. I call it the SM sales lady. Look.
Yeah.
Like, there's a documentary by Chris Rock. It's called Good Hair. And that gives you a scope of the African Americans' hair culture. And it's similar to the Filipino ones. Like, how old were you when you got your first rebond?
I was in high school.
Yeah, so that is way too young.
Yeah.
I think those kind of chemicals are need to be done with, when the hair has matured enough. Also, I mean, rebond it pisses me off sometimes because I think my study is background is Australian, and I always get asked, "Do you do rebond?" Rebond it comes from the word disulfide bond,
Okay.
because every middle of the core of the hair is called disulfide bond, so that determines the texture of the hair if it's curly or straight. So that's why rebond. So you're changing the bond, altering it permanently.
Yeah.
And it's good for short term, but long term wise, it's not, because we see a lot of artistas, their hair starts to fall off by
Yeah.
that certain age,
Yeah.
because they use certain products and also the rebond and the color so strong.
Yeah.
So by the time that they reach 50, 60, it's starting to sort of thinned out because it removes the follicles of the cuticles of the hair. So yeah,
Yeah. There is another one. I think they call it relax.
relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it different from the one?
Relaxing is more of if you don't want it to be pin straight. So yeah, pins. But now it's evolved. So we have keratin. Our
Okay.
hair is made out of keratin.
Yeah.
So they derive the keratin chemicals from the sheep's wool. And Australia is very strict when it comes to keratin treatment. If you're getting your keratin done and it starts to sting, also it's hurts your eyes and you start coughing, run.
Okay.
Run for your life. Because that is cancerous.
Okay.
And you will never know until like 5 years, 10 years, check at the time. When keratin was first introduced in Australia back in 2011, I don't know if I'm correct specifically, it was phased out because it was found out that there is formaldehyde On this, like we were all like, oh wow, it's so straight. It was so nice. But then we started coughing, and then our eyes will get teary while we're getting like we look like we're smoking joint like in the
Ugh.
salon because it was also smoky, and our
Yeah.
eyes were like teary. But we're like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And then they said it on the radio that they're facing it out, and then
Ugh.
cops actually came to the salon.
Yeah.
I used to work in South Yarra in
Whoa.
Chapel Street, and the cops actually came and took all the keratins.
Wow.
Yeah. And the company went downhill.
We will not name that company.
Yes.
Well, I was just thinking of that, like, if I started coughing and, like, I'm gonna be like, are you sure this is okay? But, you know, this term in the Philippines, tiis ganda?
Yes. Pain is beauty, beauty
Yep.
is pain.
Yep. So I guess
Yeah.
that's why most people just, they're clapping for this straight hair, but, like,
Yeah.
ignoring the...
But now it's evolved. Like, I don't think there's a lot of young women and young girls who are aware of their sensory, and also they're more sovereign in their feeling and all that. I'm not gonna suffer for beauty. It's evolved into that, and which is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I think if it's good for you, then it makes you feel beautiful, and it shouldn't be painful. A lot of girls, like if you go to the nightclubs right now, you rarely see women wearing high heels anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing like I'm wearing my.
Yep. I hate heels. Like it makes me look taller because I'm a
Yeah.
bit short. So I guess that's nice, but sometimes it's just not worth it. The pain is not
Yeah.
worth it.
I used to own lots of pair of heels and then I throw it away
Yeah.
because I think by the age of 25, then I realized I wasn't invincible because you'd feel it
Yeah.
in your back.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the only time where I would feel like it's worth it is like when I go to like concerts.
Yeah.
Because I need, especially in Australia, everyone is taller than me.
Yeah.
So I need that maybe 2-3 extra inches of height
Yeah.
to see the performer.
But I think the platform heels are good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm always on my feet. I've been a hairdresser for 12 years and thank God my back is still okay. But because I in school they taught us how to stand properly and also how to do the exercises and all that and self-care. So
Yeah.
so I'm so glad that beauty has evolved into this something more friendly
Yeah.
to our body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beauty doesn't have to be painful.
Yeah, that get rid of that.
Yeah. I guess on the creative side of hairstyling, I feel like most customers would come to you with a specific look in their mind. But do you ever like go, suggesting other things as well? Or how do you help them figure
It's
out
a
the look?
collaborative effort between me and the client. I can't just go like, because I mean, it's like when I was young, I was like that. Nah, you look good in this. But now that I've, got wiser, wiser with ease, it's a collaborative effort. So the client would have, because everyone's got phones. Before there was the magazines, so I would browse the mag. It's evolved so in such a short amount of time. Before we'd show a magazine and then we'd be on the same page, but
Yeah.
now clients have knowledge of what we do because of YouTube
Yeah.
tutorials. YouTube, you're coming for my gig. But now I have my consultation sheet, which is it's important to have consultation before you do anything prior because it's like a marriage. Like it's once you put the chemicals, I ask them to give me photos of the hair that they like, hair inspiration, and then I also assess their hair and what we could do. But my factors are lifestyle, their personality and character. It has to match. I mean, I can't give you an emo look and you're very flamboyant,
Yeah.
So I really get to know my client individually. So it's tailored for an individual client. Also, their skin tone, their facial features, also how much are they willing to commit. because hairstyle, it just doesn't happen. You know, a lot of women misconception is once they get their hair done, it will sit like that forever. Like it starts in the salon,
Yeah.
but also it continues at home. So we're not trying to upsell products just for the sake of money.
Yeah.
We want you to have beautiful hair because that's where it continues at home.
Yeah.
Also, the right products, it falls down to that. So yeah, so once I get to know my clients more, I'm more confident of the style that they want. So first revisit, it's gonna be like collaborative, and then fourth to so forth, it just becomes I call it hair date because I don't like the word appointment. It
Yeah.
sounds so serious.
Yeah.
It's meant to be fun.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be an self exploration and empowering moment. I used to dread salons because, I mean, when I first came to Australia, they would just like, oh, your hair is so curly, your hair is so thick. I'm like, oh, girl, I live with it. Do you think I don't know? That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm paying you.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's why one of the reason I became a hairdresser, because no one could do my hair, and I think it's important to have that consultation to be on the same page, and also I don't like to copy styles. Like I can like inspiration is the word in art world, but a lot of them they look at a celebrity and they would want that the same style. Like it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
Like we're not magicians. you know I'm realistic but also borderline in the fantasy, like feeling that or it's feeling that self. What they sell now, like it's giving.
Yeah.
It's serving.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to be on the same page with your client.
Yeah, definitely. You know what though? You mentioned the magazine before. I remember seeing those back then when I was in high school in the palenque parlors. They
Uh-huh.
have those.
Yeah.
And I still sort of expect the salons to have those
that,
because
yeah.
I kind of want to have a conversation
Yeah.
with a hairstylist, like and have sort of like a menu
Yeah.
that you look at, and I want this. I kind of want to have that kind of experience sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're in an era of individuality now. It's not so much as a menu of McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most women don't like to look the same as other.
I guess, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And being
I-
told what
I'm-
to do.
I'm sure you've got girlfriends who hate why are you wearing the same dress, like
Yeah.
I'm still old school, so I have magazines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I offer that. But
Yeah.
it's just for me to fast track things because the service is such a long time.
Yeah.
And often it creates confusion. So instead of just having like one vision of what you want to look like, oh maybe that. So we try to minimize that noise
Yeah.
and just really get down to the business and get it started. But we're on the internet era now, and I'm sure everyone's got Pinterest, Instagram, so we'll call it hair inspo.
Yeah.
But for me, I try to advise to my client to avoid it because I want my clients to have a sense of individuality. I want their hair to speak of their character, not the character of a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to produce the best version of yourself, not someone else.
What's like the latest trends that you notice in terms of hairstyling?
There's a lot of old glamour coming back, like the blowout, like what I did for you today. This is a blowout. We did rollers. Who knew that rollers will come back?
Yeah.
I
The Jennifer Aniston hair.
Yeah.
it's similar. Yeah, but this is like the Italian glamour blow-wave. Like, look at that layers there. Also for the young, I mean, a lot of people have becoming aware of the health of their hair, so less heat styling. So I have space buns that was inspired from anime, like Sailor Moon
Yeah.
or Chun-Li from Street Fighter. a lot of hair now has been drawn inspired from the anime. Like you see a lot of people wearing pastel colors, the pinks, the purple,
Yeah.
you know. They're not afraid anymore, and I think that comes from the anime culture
Yeah.
that we should be thankful for.
Yeah.
Um, I've always had this vision that anime world is gonna come to reality. That everyone's gonna
I
be like,
wish.
I think it's happening now. There's a singer that's coming in Melbourne that dresses an alien.
Oh yeah. I forgot her name.
She's pink and she's got like four eyes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think, and also body, what do you call this? Body changing, like modifications.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's where it's gonna head into.
I don't know. I don't think if that's how I imagine an anime world would be like in real life. I guess it depends on what kind of anime world you're
Yes,
in.
where we watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your
There's-
favorite anime?
Oh gosh. Right now, I would say Attack on Titan is still. I don't have one favorite though because
Yeah.
I always
Depends on
have
the mood.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
have but I have like a top 3.
Yeah.
And it's not like in particular order, but it's Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist,
I
and
love Full Metal Alchemist.
Brotherhood to be precise, and Gintama. Gintama. Whenever I mention it, not a lot of
Is
people
that
have
the
heard of it.
yolk?
No.
No?
No.
Let's go Tama.
Yeah. Gintama is also a shonen anime, but it's like shonen comedy, so like lots of actions and then comedies. It's really funny. The kind of jokes that they have is my type of comedy. It's like poop jokes,
Like
slapsticks,
super
stuff.
kawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that kind of comedy. So that's my top 3. But right now I'm just watching a lot of... I do love romantic comedy kind of animes as well
Yeah.
because I'm a girl. What can I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you?
I've always drawn, like I've used to do competitions and I would always draw inspirations from anime. Like, I mean, of course, Sailor Moon, but that's overrated. And Magic Knight Ray Earth, it was shown in the Philippines back in the 90s.
Okay.
I don't know if you...
I don't. I'm
Let's
sorry.
not reveal my age. So Magic Knight Ray Earth it's the aesthetics, like the red hair with blue hair and green hair, and it's now you see that on the streets a lot of women wear colored hair. Magic Knight Ray Earth, also Spy X Family.
Yeah,
I
love
love
that.
Spy X Family.
Anya is very cute.
She is very cute, and you see everyone rocking pink hair.
Yeah. You know what's... Sorry, I'm just going to
Yeah.
insert this story because it's funny because my inaanak, who's turning 7 this month, she saw my huge Attack on Titan poster in my room. And she asked me, like, what is that? I was like, oh, it's anime. And she was like, it's not anime girls? So I was like, no. And she was like, I like anime girls. And I was like, do you like anime? I was like, yeah. I was like, what anime are you watching now? And she said, Family X. Spy X Family. And I was like, oh my god, we're watching the same anime.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's so cute and such a cute bonding between
It
us.
is,
I'm
yeah.
27, she's 7.
Yes, I do the same with my niece and my nephews. So one is 5, one is 9, and the other one is 12. And she's into drawing animes, and that's how we bond. And they're using my Crunchyroll password.
Yeah.
But it's always been an opener. Like once you meet someone who loves anime, it's almost like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love going. I've been to the what do you call this? The conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see about them in the costumes and heat when
Yeah.
that doesn't smell good.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love going to anime conventions because whenever I go there, it feels like I'm home because I'm surrounded by people who loves anime just like me. I'm not sure about you, but I've sort of...
I think it's because a lot for me, alright? For me, anime is almost like an escapism. So my imagination wanders. Well, I remember doing hair competitions and I would watch animes. And that's how I draw my inspirations from, and then I
Yeah.
brought into reality. And also the cosplayers use wigs.
Yeah.
So it's a massive industry.
Yeah.
Um, it's a people, it's a room full of people who are liberated to, to express who they are, regardless of what they think.
Yeah.
You could be sexy, you could be seductive, you could be comedy, you could be action, you could be whatever you want. You can be an animal if for all, you know,
Yeah.
whatever you want. And I think that's what it is. It's a community that where it allows people to be themselves, to be their imaginary selves. And yeah, so that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
And it's it's bringing your inner child.
Yeah.
I in the Philippines there's Yu Yu Hakusho, like Ghost Fighter.
Yep.
It's
There's a live
massive.
action now on Netflix.
Yes. And I watched that in Filipino
True.
just to give me the nostalgic
Yeah.
feeling. Because I would watch it before school or
Yeah.
after school.
I sometimes would be late
Yes.
because I was watching it.
Yeah. Or I would eat in front of the television.
Yeah.
But back then, it's not in demand. Once you miss the episode, good luck.
Yeah.
You have to wait for a year
Yeah.
for them to re-air that episode.
Yeah. Or you buy the pirated DVDs.
Yeah,
something like
so
that.
yeah. I mean, everyone get into anime, and my favorite
Yeah.
is Studio Ghibli. I love their films. It's just very comforting.
Yeah.
Like it's just a warm hug.
Yeah. I totally agree with you with how I guess cosplayers sort of tend to, it's like escapism for some, I know someone from, I can't remember if it's from high school or college, but I know someone who does cosplay. He cosplays Miku Hatsune.
Who's
Do you know
that?
that? She's a Vocaloid. So she's like an AI singer when
Right.
AI wasn't a thing back then. So she's like a digital character who sings. And she's got like teal hair that's like long like this, like
Pink?
Sailor Moon hair,
Yeah.
but like teal.
Yeah. Teal,
And yeah, so that's what he cosplays. And like when you see him normally at school,
Yeah.
he's like so timid, very quiet person. But when he cosplays,
Yeah.
he's a different
Yeah.
person.
Well, that's a transformational power of hair and makeup.
Yeah. Like he
But
owns
cosplaying
that.
is like to the 10th level.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's also also drag queens and all that. It's the transformational power of hair and makeup. It dates back to ancient Egyptians, the eyeliners. Men used to wear makeup in heels back in like the French, there's always a power that comes to it. You can step into a different it's almost like a multiverse.
Yeah.
It's just you put a bit of makeup or lipstick on it. I experiment this myself, when I used to live in South Yarra, I would dress up and I would be treated differently. But when I don't, I get looked over. Like you don't get the same attention. And it's the same power as that when you cosplay, when you become a drag queen or you do your hair and makeup, it's so empowering. And a lot of people oppose that because, they're not as free, but
Yeah.
who cares?
And it's like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Yes. Yeah. So, it's very transformative, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah. So you said you've been doing this for, was it
13
12?
years,
13
yeah.
years. Do you have any, I guess, interesting or funniest story experience that you've done as a hairstylist that you could share?
There's a
Or you-
lot.
Okay.
There's a lot. Where do I begin? Look, I initially started with hair loss. So, the hair salon that I work at, we specialize in hair extensions and hair loss. And there is a hair loss space at the back of the salon, and this is private. So, a lot of them suffer from alopecia or post and pre chemo. So a lot of them have this, um, I don't know, attitude. It comes across rude, but then when I step into that and sort of like change, like, okay, let's do this, it's sort of like their insecurity. So there's a lot of moments where, like, there's one moment where the whole family came to the salon and thanked me. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, thank you so much for 8 years. You made me smile." I'm like, "Girl, I just did your hair." Like, you know, um, of course you have the funny ones. Like, there are strippers.
Oh.
They are they would do their hair, and the next day they want to refund.
Oh.
Yeah, because they just want the money. Like, not all of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't come at me. Yeah, there's a lot of interest because we enter the personal bubble, so a lot of people sort of, like, let their hair,
Yeah. They just want to
literally.
relax and
Yeah,
yeah.
so sometimes I would go to work and I'll be like, "How are you?" And they're like, "I just got divorced." I'm like, "Oh, okay. What are we gonna
Say
do?"
no more.
Yeah, yeah. It's very interesting. Like, Chapel Street has a very interesting characters. I had celebrities. I wouldn't name her, but she was one of the Melbourne housewives, and I didn't know who she was back then. She was wearing top to toe blue, and she didn't want to pay
Ah.
because I think a client, um, recognized her. So it's sort of a boost of an ego. And I was like, luckily my boss at that time knows how to deal with things like that, and
Yeah.
she ended up. It's only $300, but anyway, I don't want to say her name because
Yeah.
she might sue me. That's the hint.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stories. In the Philippines, also I do fashion shows. Wow, they in fashion shows in the Philippines, they are well looked after. The food, everything. Yeah, I think that's one thing interesting about hairdressing. I can just bring my scissors and tools, and I can
Yeah.
work any parts of the world. Um, yeah, I got to meet different type of people, um, and my first boss. This is a great advice that she gave me. Um, don't have trivial conversation. Have intellectual conversation, and the things that they've studied for years, you will get it from if you're asking the right questions.
Yeah.
And I've adopted that ever since. And yeah, it's been really um, interesting. It opened my mind, and I think now I've desensitized. Like, I find everything interesting. Um, I don't think I could learn from everyone. So yeah, I think every client is interesting. But now that I moved to my, suburban, from South Yara to in Korea, um,
Not
it's
choreo?
that choreo. For new Filipinos, it's
I
Korea.
thought it was choreo.
Yeah. Um, I enjoy looking after everyday women as opposed to, the I still love the celebrities. Don't get me wrong. I mean, one of the best one in Philippines, like Sasha Padilla. She's so good. I did her hair and makeup, and she has this meron siyang tirintas, plat.
Like underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it pulls and it get rid of her wrinkles.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah. So she's like, I was doing her hair and makeup for a concert, and then she's like, "Dear, I have something here." I'm like, "What?" But yeah, so she got that because I think in film they do that tape where they can make that like the
Yeah.
slanty look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think everyone is interesting. Every day is not the same. I have good days, but now I have good clientele that I work for myself because I have a choice to choose. But that's one of my prayer. Like, Lord, please give me good clientele, and I'm glad that he provides. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So how did you get from working to someone's salon, right, to do it, doing it on your own?
I managed a salon for how many years, and it opened my eyes on the ins and outs of operating a business, which is amazing. And then I sort of lost my passion. It was sold into a couple. I'm not gonna names, but yeah. Um, I had a break. I had a 2 year break. I did real estate in Sydney, and then I think it didn't sort of when the universe will always take you where you need to be. So I called my mom. I said, "This is not working out." I was very depressed, and then beginning of 2020, I moved back, got my old job back. Didn't like that my sister is now the manager, so so my ego was like, "Mm, okay." But I mean, I'm so proud of her because she's actually better than me now. She's in South Yara. Um, and then I had a holiday in Philippines, 2020. Um, for some reason, I moved back, and then lockdown, and then I got sort of paranoid of traveling from Geelong to South Yara, and I said, "How am I gonna do this?" And work from home started, and I have a bit of money saved, so I moved back to my parents' house, and I realized that getting they're not getting younger. So I thought if I move out, it's just gonna be same cycle, I suppose, and it sort of evolved in that. And I said, can I transform the? This was the living room, which where we are now, and it started from there, and I challenged myself. I didn't advertise. I said if my work is good enough and I am worth investing. And I'm so amazed with Filipino people, like the support. I have clients from Sydney, from Perth, from Colac, Warrnambool, Doncaster, Sunshine, everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. And I remember someone saying to me that you don't have to have a fancy shop. You just have to have the right skills, the services, and people will come to you, and that's so true. So I started from lockdown. It sort of evolved, and I got into a point where I'm like, I can support myself for this, and I was like, thank God. And it was such a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
It's one of the best decisions. Like, I mean, the lockdown wasn't pretty, but
Yeah.
if we can make pretty out of something, I think that's one of my proudest moments. Yeah, a lot of my clients were nurses at that time. It was difficult, but I stick to what I know, and I just want women to look their best, and I sort of, yeah, the word spread, and here you are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're all the way from Melton,
Yep.
so I think that's what my intention is, always to like make this person feel her greatest, and yeah, it snowballs from that.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if I've said it out loud, but I think this is the best salon I've ever been to.
Oh, that's so
Because you know
nice.
what I said, that how customers, they want to relax.
Yes.
And this is so relaxing.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes when you go to a salon, you sit on a chair, they're like, bam, 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 bam,
Yeah.
done.
It's very commercial. You feel like a number.
Yeah.
But this comes from a background. So I have hair loss. I don't have hair loss. I work for hair loss. That side, and also I wanted to work with the best when I was young. So I got a lot of rejections. I was 24, 23 when I started hairdressing. Um, I had lots of rejections because I really focus on applying in big, like, good salons. So in the salon that I work in, we did celebrities. So I had that input of, the luxury sort of thing. And I said, I want my fellow Filipino to experience this. Can I say shit?
Yeah.
I want them to experience this.
Yeah.
Because what I've realized is there are a lot of Filipino who works hard, but they don't look after their hair because they're so scared. They have trauma of going to a salon and having a crap haircut.
Yep.
And they paid the full amount of price. You know?
Exactly.
I had a lot of Filipino who paid like $700, $800 worth, and then their hair got destroyed. So I want to give back to my community in that sense.
Yep.
That I want to give them good hair. And when you have good hair, you feel. How do you feel when you get your hair done? You
I
know?
feel happy and I feel confident.
Yeah, you feel like you can just do whatever you want to put into your mind in.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's what I love about it.
definitely. So, when you were washing my hair, you used your own products?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? How did you, like, make your own product?
When I remember when I was little, I would always like have a shower, right? And then we have Rejoice. So I can't say name brands, but we have the brands, right? I would look at the shampoo and then I would read like Arabic. There's Chinese, there's Japanese, Spanish, Italian, French. I'm like, there's no Filipino, and I put it in my head. I'm like, I want a product that has something with Filipino, and I forgot about it. But I've always knew that I wanted a product, and lockdown, you know, I saw a meme says like, certain did this during Renaissance, you know, a painting, a novel.
Yeah.
But what am I gonna bloody do? So I came up with this brand, so loved. I wanted my brand to speak of a feeling of being loved and being important. And so also I was inspired by my parents because my parents always use Vicks. Of course, Jokoy always jokes about Vicks.
Yeah.
So my parents couldn't sleep without Vicks white flour and all those efficacent oil.
Yeah.
So the minty feel, and I've always wanted to have that in hair. And I forgot about it. I created a template for my logo and everything. I started the homemade one and it sort of didn't push through. I'm like, maybe it's not gonna happen anymore. And then 2023, I came across the manufacturer, the lab, and they have the right formulation that I really wanted. So I jumped the gun and took the risk. And because I have this extensive years of my knowledge and all that, I wanted to be on that bottle. And yeah, so I created the brand called Loved, and I'm very proud of it. There's been a good feedback. I mean, it's so hard because my family is not from a business side, so I'm learning from scratch. But the support has been so amazing, you know, and I actually inserted a tagline of Filipino
Oh.
on the bottle. So I have a stockist, they're Australian supplier for hair salons in regional Geelong. And yeah, they stock that, and I feel so proud that now there's a Filipino thing there.
Yeah.
And it's Australian made.
Yeah.
It's vegan, organic, it's lightweight, and also for me, it's my contribution to my Filipino community to educate them on using the right products. No, just because something is cheap, that means it's good for us.
Yeah.
You know, so me encouraging people on sustainability as well. So yeah, that's what Love is about. Eventually, if I have the enough money, I want it to be refillable. So it's you know, nature friendly as well. So um, hopefully you guys experience Loved. Like the one that you had was the relaxing one. I have moisture and relaxing.
Okay.
So the relaxing one is that's got the minty feel. It's anti-inflammatory. It's anti-dandruff, and also, um, I've stopped advising. Before I used to advise that not to wash their hair frequently, but when I had a cousin from the Philippines, that she was washing her every day. I'm like, girl, don't wash your hair every day. But I noticed her hair was growing fast. It was so bouncy. It was so healthy, and I applied it to myself. My hair grew too. Like I used to wear hair extensions all the time. Now it's all my hair, and it just brought back life to my hair. And I realized our body is used to tropical climate, so And that advice of not washing hair is for Westerners, I suppose, because they have finer hair. And also the main focus on um, that advice is for style and color to retain style and color, but it's also not good for the scalp.
Yeah.
Also, we live in Victoria, so our environment always changes.
Yeah.
So correct products is always good. So I always advise to change every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm happy that you experienced
Yeah.
loved,
I
and
felt loved when you were using
yeah.
it on me. And thank you for like putting, Filipino hair products in shelves. And I'm hoping that I would see it one day in like, Woolies and
Well,
Coles,
that's the
That's the
vision.
goal, yeah.
That's the goal, and hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so this is something that I ask my guests always towards the end of the episode is what kind of, I guess, message or advice or tips can you give to your fellow Filipinos here who might want to go into the hairstyling
hmm
business?
I think it's a decision.
Mm-hmm.
You have to decide, and once you have decided, you commit 100%. You give your mind, body, heart, and soul. So if your job requires you to move around, you move around, like, but at the same time you have self-care. So it's a balance,
Mm.
finding the right balance. um, Hair is not a glamorous job, as it we may look like it's glamorous, but it's a lot of it is listening to people. um, Also, it's not just the hair that you're transforming, it's also the mindset of a person.
Mm.
Because when someone feels good about themselves, they made good decisions or bad decisions, but they have fun.
Yeah.
So I think just wholeheartedly commit,
Mm-hmm.
and also take. Like, I hated color when I started. I thought hairdressing was just like,
Mm.
curling and all
Yeah.
that, and I'm done.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Chemistry was involved.
Mm-hmm.
Math, customer service, psychology, business. So there's a lot of factor. So don't put yourself in a box. You can be whatever you want, and that's what the message of hair and makeup transformation is. You
Mm.
can transform yourself into something you want, and you give that to people. So be of service of people. Um, yeah. So that's what I could give to people who are listening to this and watching. Yeah, be of service. Whatever you do, if you be of service and 100% commit and your intention is pure, I think money will come and follow. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. What?
I think I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess since you've been in this industry for 13 years, what do you think is the biggest lesson that you've learned so far?
Uh, the biggest lesson is be present.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always know everything, so be present. When you're present, you're aware. You're aware of your mistakes. You're aware of your achievements, and stay humble and always have the beginner's mindset. I always that's what because when I started hairdressing, I had the opportunity to be mentored by one of the top hairstylists in Australia, Sharon
Mm-hmm.
Blaine. So I was one of the top 5 winners that was brought and fly into Sydney. And one thing I've noticed with the hairdressers that in the industry on top are they have the beginner's mindset. They don't have the know it all. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know it all. They're always willing and asking, oh, how you do this, how you do that, and that's something I adopted in myself. Um, is to sort of you can learn from everyone that you meet, and everyone that you'll meet has something valuable or golden. So be humble, be present, and also be self-aware, and um, celebrate small wins, because small wins eventually have big
leads to
wings.
bigger ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree with that. And well, there you go. Thank you so much for
You're
that
welcome.
very fun and I guess very informative Kwentuhan. I hope you enjoyed our Kwentuhan for
I did a
today.
kwentuhan. So, yeah, I think this is what I do for a
Yeah.
living. I always have kwentuhan with my clients. So,
Yeah, true.
I was very interested to get to know you as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you
And I
for
hope you guys subscribe to her.
yes to me
Get the
and to
views
her.
coming.
Her what's your Instagram and stuff?
I have Love Lexi Love, and my Facebook page is Love Lexi, and I'm gonna have a website coming soon called
Oh.
I Am Loved, loved.com.au.
Yep.
So yeah, to start my brand and my products. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Thank
All
you.
right. See you. Bye.